Okay, ladies and gentlemen, well, we have just had a massive media raid in Germany overnight. This was one of the largest media raids in modern history. It involved over 200 police officers in ski masks or balaclavas, and we're going to go into the story here. Just a quick reminder that it's 90% off all finance courses at the moment. That is the stock market program, wealth psychology, and the Cashflow mastery program until the new course has finished recording. So let's go to the shared screen here and let's get up to date on the story then. Massive press crackdown in Germany. Government bans Compact magazine in an unprecedented move. Police search publisher's home in the early morning raid. Well, it wasn't just the publisher's home, it was also the staff of the publication. It says a number of staff and people associated with it. Also, the AfD, which is the, actually let's come back a second, the Alternative for Germany party. A number of those politicians have also been included in this. And I'll tell you some of the things that I found quite shocking about this in a moment when it comes to media coverage of it, which is now being heavily contested. It's already, I believe, going through a lot of legal proceedings because it just so happens that the media was there on the police raids, which obviously is not permitted. That all of this was leaked to the media, that they were going to be doing all these raids on these people, and it was publicized absolutely everywhere. And again, just because I talk about topics, I need to just give you a quick disclaimer here. It doesn't mean when I talk about left-wing stuff, right-wing stuff, when I talk about the VP of America, what he said about the UK and Islam, stuff like that. Just because I cover topics, I need to be really clear, it doesn't mean I agree with anything being said. It's just my job to cover it and explain it to you. And I say that because overnight, my inbox was just full of hate mail over the story. And I'm looking at this stuff going, I'm just telling you what the story was. It doesn't mean I agree with a story. So I've got to just say that because overnight the inbox was just full of this stuff. Okay, so again, with that in mind, after the all-out assault on press freedom and the show raid by over 200 police officers wearing ski masks, legal critics are saying that the actions are clearly unconstitutional. Let me just pick up here on DW coverage of it as well.
Tell us more about this magazine, first of all.
Compact is basically one of the leading media brands on the far right in Germany, on the new right-wing extremist scene. And essentially it pushes an anti-immigrant, anti-American, pro-Russian, ethno-nationalist ideology. It's a magazine that can be picked up at train stations, at kiosks around the country, and apparently the intelligence services say they sell around 40,000 copies every edition. But also
okay, so firstly, we've just got to establish, you can see the writing on the wall already there. You can see what the issues are from just what he explained as to 40,000 copies, and that's just their in print. You can imagine their reach.
Also has a really strong YouTube channel, a Telegram channel, 350,000 subscribers on YouTube. So a kind of a blossoming media company on the far right. And as of today, it will now be a criminal offence then to associate or to continue that work. The Interior Minister said it was a blow against the far right. He basically said that they were inciting hatred against Jews, migrants, refugees, and contributing to the destabilisation of German democracy.
Okay, now that's what was said, and we also have all the media outlets, I counted about 20 in total, ran with the exact same headline. So that tells you, whenever you see the exact same headline, that this has been, the media outlets are using pretty much the same story when it's the exact same headline. So you have got to read into a lot of this. The Independent as well went really deep on it. They showed all the different photos, some embarrassing photos as well of the journalists in underwear and all sorts of stuff. Quite pretty bad stuff. So Okay, let's go through this then. In what may be the most aggressive move against press freedom since the Second World War, Germany has banned Compact magazine, and over 200 police officers actually raided the homes of not just the publishers, the financial backers, the employees, all the way down, it said, to admin assistants were raided in the middle of the night. First thing in the morning, sorry, let me correct that. At 6 a.m., masked German police officers raided the homes. They confiscated hard drives and assets. The magazine has a large readership in Germany and a YouTube channel with millions of views and over 300,000 subscribers. The website and its social media channels have now been erased from the web. And we've seen this tactic actually used with a number of other media channels and celebrities as well, people who have large YouTube channels. So far-right German Interior Minister Nancy Faeser took to X to celebrate, far-left, my mistake there, far-left minister to celebrate the banning of the publication, which she says she personally ordered. And again, you can see what actually happened here. Let me just grab you a couple of other bits that I pulled from X as well. In Germany, most police raids are not accompanied by TV crews or cameras, but the Interior Ministry is now making a spectacle of such raids when political rivals are involved. Now, I'll tell you, this is something I 100% agree with, because what did they do? This is a tactic that they use. Did they do a police raid with just a few police, normal plainclothes police? No. They acted, they had ski masks and they had all sorts of, heavy equipment. They acted as if these were some sort of a terrorist group with, I don't know, some sort of weapons or whatever else. 200 police officers. I mean, do you really need 200 police officers to arrest a young girl admin assistant home in bed with her, boyfriend, whatever? Do you need all these people to arrest the guy there in his dressing gown or nightie, whatever you call it in your country? No, it's bizarre. And why was there film crews filming the whole thing in the house, filming everything, press outside, making sure there's pictures of it all? It was obviously a political hit piece against them. Whether you look, I'm not saying I agree with everything they put out, because I don't even know much about them. I don't speak German. I don't follow the German media. Okay, I've had to do my own research in the last 24 hours as all of this has been going on to understand everything going on. But one thing I will say is, and I talked about this on my walk and talk when I was in Thailand, and remember we were going around that lake, and I said, just watch what will happen next in Germany. Because the AfD party were winning so many seats and so many people were voting for them, I said, you're now going to see a really big lockdown on press freedom. You're going to see the right-wing media start to get suppressed. You'll start to see political attacks on them and on the party. And I think now the AfD actually took second place in the EU parliamentary elections. Second place. So you can see that the grip is coming down to try and stop the rise of the AfD. And of course, now you heard what the reporter said. It is a criminal offense for them to continue the compact or to be associated with them. So now what they're also saying is if you post or repost or share any of their content on social media, you could be arrested for doing so. That is, to me, where it kind of crosses a line. Now, again, you've got to look into this yourself, because there is a lot of stuff that's put out by the publication, which you may or may not agree with, okay? And this is where you got to start looking at the line between freedom of speech and what they're saying is inciting hatred against migrants and, all the other stuff that they're talking about. So this is the real challenge here. And I think this is why it's going through all the legal courts at the moment. Compact is known for its support of the AfD party and its opposition. This was the other thing to COVID restrictions. So another thing they got them on, which, again, this was the first point I was reading, was during lockdown. So they were heavily against lockdowns. And there was already an investigation then because they talked against lockdowns. They talked against the vax as well, saying about the health could be detrimental. And of course, all this stuff has been labeled as conspiracy theory. So this is the stuff that they've built against them. Lockdowns were detrimental. They did cause a lot of issues. There were issues with the vax. There were health issues. It's all coming out. So is it really conspiracy? I mean, you've got to have a solid base to prosecute on these things. I don't think they've got that solid base. But again, my opinion. Let's continue on with this. The press was informed ahead of time of the raid, and it was on hand to photograph people while he was surrounded by masked police officers. In addition, his video production company was also banned. It marked the first time a media outlet of this size has been targeted in such an extraordinary manner. The AFD co-leaders issued a statement. The ban on Compact magazine is a serious blow to press freedom. We're watching these events with great concern. Banning a press organization means denying discourse and diversity of opinion. A ban is always the most far-reaching step. They're saying that the Interior Minister, Nancy Faeser, is abusing her powers to suppress critical reporting, and they call on her to respect press freedom. I would agree with this. It's obviously, again, whether you agree or not, that is what is happening here. It is a political hit. According to Germany's Well, the ban came about because Compact allegedly violated the constitutional order in a combative and aggressive manner. Private homes of employees were also raided. In addition, financial backers of the outlet also had their properties raided, and digital and personal assets were confiscated. Nobets Manor, a former AFD politician, was also raided. So they also went after AFD politicians. So what is this Compact magazine then? It's described itself as a magazine for sovereignty. And the website, as well as all their social channels, has now been deleted. However, I don't think YouTube is down yet because there is a request, I believe, to remove their channel. So there is a request in at the moment, but it is still up at the moment. It wrote, it does not prescribe a political line, but rather an attitude. That is walking upright, that is a spirit of freedom and pride in our history. This is where they say Compact specifically address right-wing extremists, conspiracy theorists, and opponents of democracy with well-known narratives. This is what they're getting them on, by the way, and this is where you've got to laugh at this. So they're getting them on this. Narratives such as lying press. Come on, the press doesn't lie. High finance. Corrupt politicians. No, definitely not. There is definitely no corrupt politicians. Powerful puppet masters in the background. Come on. Who comes up with these things? Who are deceiving the people? No, of course none of that is true. Absolutely not. However, Welt does not note how many of this is illegal or even factually incorrect. So she's gone after them over these things, but is this illegal to say the press lies, there's corrupt politics? No, I don't think it is illegal. But apparently, according to some of these politicians, this is illegal. I think this will fall down at court very quickly. Calling them puppet masters may be a theatrical take, and some may take the phrase lying press as a harsh term to use against journalists. But the fact that many journalists have lied or distorted the truth has been proven to be correct on many occasions. Yeah, absolutely. The ban is sure to be met with legal challenges, and even some on the left are questioning the legitimacy of such a ban, as it appears to violate a number of provisions on free speech guaranteed in the Constitution. So this goes on and on. It's quite interesting to follow the story here, but you've had a lot of top lawyers actually taking to X, lawyers on the left and the right, and they're saying that this raid was not lawful. This man noted that, among other things, the presence of a press photographer for the raid was clearly a criminal act, and a lot of others have repeated this. Also, Germany's far-right AfD party have been expelled from the European Parliament group. This was another one that came out a little while back. German court, this was again back a while ago now, BBC. Germany, court says far-right AfD is suspected of extremism. So there's a few things that you can kind of follow here if you want to catch up on all of this story and understand what's going on. But I think the bottom line we need to look at here is if you take away the emotion, you take away whether you agree with what they say, whether you don't agree, whether you think it's extremist, not extremist, whether you think they are anti-migrant, whether you think they're racist, whatever you think, okay, the point of this video is that what has happened here is clearly they've crossed a line. So I think, and the other risk with this is that when you see things like this take place, it brings out people who were kind of on the line, maybe they were just across, and it makes them more fired up. Because if they feel as though they are being suppressed, or someone that they kind of align with is being suppressed or victimized, that's when you get a lot of people that cross over the line and come out fighting. So I think this is going to backfire on the political left who have done this, and I also think it's quite despicable the way it has been conducted with the media there. I mean, filming people in like their underwear and all sorts of other stuff is just wrong. It shouldn't happen. You don't need police in riot gear and all the heavy equipment to go into people's houses who are admin assistants and journalists. I mean, it's just deliberate. It's obvious why they did it, and it's just not on, is my opinion on the matter. Thanks for being online. 90% off all courses until the final course is recorded. Apart from that, see you tomorrow. Take care. God bless. And walk and talk tomorrow. Let's pray for good weather. All right. Bye for now.